Okay, so here are some updates on what's going on with the refugees here in Romania and what we have been doing and hearing and that kind of stuff. We were trying to find housing for two families that were friends with each other that wanted to be close together. From our understanding, they don't have anywhere else to go. So many of the refugees that are coming in are in one of two camps. They are either really disadvantaged and don't have much and are going to government facilities, so dorm rooms, gymnasiums with cots, those kind of situations. And then another camp of people that have somewhere else to go, have a little bit more money probably, or means, or someone to kind of, pay their way to go onward to other family or friends where they can stay while this whole situation plays out. So this family seems to sort of be in the middle. They are family units that don't want the kids in, their families in, these big gymnasiums with cots and all that situation. They have a little bit of means, but they have nowhere else to go. So they are looking for something in this funny middle ground of like, they don't want to rent an apartment for a year, but they want something decent because they don't have anywhere to go, and they're guessing they're going to be here for a month, 2 months, 3 months, like nobody knows. So right now they're in some temporary housing, but are still looking for something a little bit more long term. Now we've been able to connect them with multiple resources and forums in Ukrainian and Russian languages that can help them find some options. Basically, the Airbnbs here are gone totally. They're renting now between $2,000 and $10,000 a month, and the $2,000 range, they're not worth it, and it's just way above market value. So we have exhausted that as a plan, but we've connected them with some other resources. We know that they're in housing. It's not a great long-term solution, but they're okay for now, and they are going to be in touch with us if and when they find something or they have some next steps, and they know that we have some financial resources to support them if they need it. So that's been really nice, and also I think for them, great to feel like they have somebody kind of in their corner supporting them. We had a refugee stay here over the weekend. We have a friend of Andy's, a colleague of Andy's at the school who's a Russian speaker. He's from Uzbekistan, and he has been going to the train station any moment he's awake that he's not at work. It's amazing. He's a great guy. He's spending all of his free time as a 30-year-old young dude at a train station translating in Russian for people that are coming in droves from the train station. So he has a chat group with a lot of the other teachers and community members to get quick help when he needs it. Food, transportation, lodging, whatever. We wrote him over the weekend and said, we have the capacity to take one single female. Now, obviously, you may know, men are not allowed between the ages, I think, 16 or 18 and 60 to leave Ukraine right now. So there's a lot of mothers and kids and single women. In fact, we're hearing that there's kids that are being sent on the train without even parents. For whatever reason, the parents need to be there, or there's not a family member to go with them, and they're showing up in Bucharest or in Romania, getting off a train with a travel document and a piece of paper and a backpack with some snacks. So anyway, he's at the train station helping to facilitate this. Now, the government is getting increasingly better at having systems. They have food that's donated. I'll talk about that in a second. But their systems are getting smoother. Nonprofit organizations are also getting more involved, and so we are seeing a lot more systematic support. But as this was initially happening, Andre was at the train station sending out messages, and Andy basically said, we can take one single female. That's kind of all we have space for, all we have the capacity for. He sent that at 10 a.m. By 10:30, he was on his way to the train station to pick up Sveta. So we had a Ukrainian refugee woman named Svetlana who came by herself. She left her daughter and her grandson because they didn't want to leave the father, her son-in-law. So they wanted to stay as a family unit. They live about an hour outside Kiev. So right now you can still get out, but potentially, who knows how long that will be possible. Svetlana was able to jump into a car with colleagues, get to the border, get on an overnight train into Romania, into Bucharest, got off the train, had no idea what she was going to do, ran into Andre, who said, I've got somewhere for you to stay, because we'd already told him we would take someone. I did not anticipate how emotional it would be to have someone here that was so affected by this situation. It was wonderful. She was thankful. She spoke a little bit of English. She showed us pictures of her grandson, who's the same age as Lockie. She also showed us pictures of her mother, who's 70, who does not want to leave her country. She doesn't know when she'll see her family again. On Monday afternoon, she had a train ticket to Germany to stay with some friends. So she went on. I helped her get to the train station and she got on. So we got her some food, we got her set up for her trip. She had a backpack and that was it. She locked her apartment, she walked out. She doesn't know if she'll see it again. It was really difficult, but wonderful to be able to support her. We're connected now, and she sent me messages to say she's made it to Germany and that she's doing well, and she'll keep me updated. Yesterday, Andy took a trunkload of food from the school to the train station. So they have, when you arrive at the train station, they have tables set up now. Hot food donated from various places, the school community, the nonprofits, the government, hot meals set up at a table, and they have SIM cards so people can arrive from the Ukraine and put in a phone card and be able to call or text or have data to check their email or whatever they need. And then there is a system now to help them move into temporary housing. So again, it's kind of the situation of like a dorm room or a large facility with cots or that kind of thing. Also over the weekend, some friends of ours went to take a family to the airport, thinking that was the contribution that they were making, was just transportation to the airport. Got the family to the airport as a mother with her son and a 16-year-old girl who we believe is like a niece or some kind of relative or close friend who doesn't have parents with her. So a woman with a, I don't know, I think 6-year-old and 16-year-old. They got to the airport and realized they don't have the right kind of passports. They're called biometric passports. They have an old-fashioned kind of passport that is not allowed for international travel on the airline. So they ended up with this group of 3 in their home for several days as they went to the Ukrainian embassy and they tried to sort out how they were going to get to Finland where they had a family. Finally, they got train tickets. You can move through land with those passports, but not through air. In the meantime, as the mother, the woman, the aunt, whatever, was trying to sort things out, Andy and the boys met this family and took them out to dinner at a restaurant. It turned out that it was the girl's 16th birthday. It was the first time that she smiled since our friends had picked them up to go to the airport. All of the communication was via Google Translate. There was no English spoken by them and no Russian spoken by our friends or Andy or anyone. Pretty intense, again, situation in that it was really hard to see this family struggling to get to their family. And the logistics that are involved, and this is now coming up as an issue that Ukrainians are getting into Romania with virtually no documentation. The Romanian government isn't requiring much. They're just saying, come in, come in, come in. But then once they're getting here, they're realizing they don't always have the type of documentation they need to go on further. And so we've had several stories now in the community of people who have taken a refugee or a refugee family in for a night or two before their flights or before they're moving on and realize that they can't continue on because they don't have the right documentation. So that's becoming an issue. Things are getting more organized, like I said, so there's a lot more systems in place. We're working really closely with this nonprofit organization that is literally just driving back and forth to the border, helping to transport supplies. Some of the supplies go all the way into the Ukraine. Some of them stop at the border as people come in. And so we know that every donation that we make is going directly into the hands of a Ukrainian person that needs it. They're on the ground. They're telling us what's needed. And so we are able to continuously offer financial resources or just go to the shop and get whatever it is that they need to keep bringing to the border. So that's the latest. with what's happening here. We have spent some of the money. We still have some of it. We are just basically in this great position of, if a need comes up, we can say, yes, we have the money to do that. And so we're going to continue doing that until we've exhausted our resources. If the family that needs housing gets back to us and has found something and could use some help with a deposit or with some payment, we will certainly send them some money or bring them some money for that exchange as well. So we're in a great position in that we have a pool of money now from our friends and family that is available without hesitation to be used as soon as it's needed. Thanks.